Okay, orders of the day. Orders of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order. Yes, Honorable Swadi.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I wish to give a notice of motion of the adjournment of the County Assembly.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Honorable Gideon. Honorable Gideon, member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion on the adoption of the Joint Committee report inquiring into the condition of county government vehicles. Honorable Speaker, this motion is a product of a Joint Committee inquiry into the state of our government vehicles, including road machinery. That came about due to a ruling by the Speaker. And the committees comprised of the Committee of Roads, Committee of Implementation, and Committee in charge of Administration, Public Service, and E-Government. I think that is the wording of the committee. I would wish to present this report and move that this House agree with the committee. The findings and recommendation given herein, the members are also, because this is a weighty matter, are free to add their comments and input to this so that we can have, we can improve the services being rendered by the county government of Kenya, of Nandi, through the roadworks machines and other vehicles. So, as I've said, it comprised of 3 committees. The same was established on Thursday, 19 November 2020, to look into the matter of the condition of the vehicles, the garage, the Joint Committee establishment, the Joint Committee's creation of the House to inquire into the condition of the vehicles lying in various garages. A Joint Committee may be formed as per the Standing Order 185-1. Committee membership is as follows: myself as the chair. We have Rose Jasang, Honorable John Kepene, Honorable Hilary Serem, Honorable Nancy, Honorable Giles Korir, Honorable Justine, Honorable Elfas, Honorable Joshua Ngatich, Honorable Osborne Komen, Honorable Frederick Kimboy, Honorable Milka Chumba, Honorable David Buambok, Honorable Kipkriche Pony, Honorable Pius Singway, Honorable Pius Murray, Dorcas Kirwa, David Koech, and Cornelia Some. I take this opportunity to thank the members of the committee for the immense contribution that culminated in the production of this report. The committee wishes to also thank the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk for the support. The committee further wishes to appreciate the staff attached to the committee. On behalf of the Joint Committee, maybe let me highlight a few areas. Actually, Honorable Speaker, as per this report, we actually divided the committee into around 3 that were to move to various garages, to make field visits, scrutinize documents, and also make phone calls or text messages, interrogation of various staff. So we made visits to Nandil's the garage in Kipsebwa, that is Wilkit, Kamobo, Namgoi, including Eldoret, The findings are highlighted as seen in this report. Actually, I think the pictures would have been good when it was in color. This is black and white, but we also have the same in soft copy. I think the IT team may have to share with us that. I am moving straight away to the recommendation herein established by the committee in the last section of this report. After interrogation of various teams, maybe on the findings, we found that there are so many vehicles in the garages. Some of them were taken to the garage with a problem of maybe brake pads. But now it is the whole body, and the rest of the vehicle is damaged. The roads department exonerated themselves from blame at some point, quoting that there are only a few of the county machinery, that the rest of the bulk of the work rests with the Department of Administration. So I think going forward, Honorable Speaker, we would wish that there should be proper management of these vehicles. So straight to the recommendation. In view of the observation and findings made during the field visit, oral submission made to it, and documentary evidence received on the subject matter makes the recommendation as follows. Number one, that drivers and operators on county vehicles and machinery be employed on permanent and pensionable basis in regards to minimum requirement as provided for salaries and recommendation commission. This is in view of the committee will motivate the officers and inculcate responsibility. That the executive department responsible for transport and infrastructure develop fleet management policy within 30 days of the adoption of this report. That the servicing and repairs of county government-owned vehicles, machines, be done by supplier of respects brand, or actually, like if it is Toyota, that is the case. That each vehicles and machinery be submitted for servicing and repair as per specification of manufacturer. We found that some vehicles got the problems, actually the damages, because of some not going for service as provided for. That each vehicle and machinery be submitted, I've said that the county government stops hiring of vehicles within 30 days following the adoption of this report. Instead, the monies allocated to hiring services be utilized in servicing and repair of the county government-owned vehicles. That the Kenya National Audit Office be invited to conduct thorough audit of the vehicles and machinery owned by Nandi County government within 30 days. That the vehicles and machinery whose repair is economically infeasible be disposed of within 90 days following the adoption of this report with compliance to Public Procurement and Assets and Disposal Act. That the county government of Nandi is hereby directed to facilitate the payment of outstanding bills to garages for services rendered in compliance with National Treasury Circular number 18 of 2019 within 30 days. That the vehicles and machineries in government and private premises across the county be moved to centralized location at the Nandi County headquarters. That the county government of Nandi submits to this house status of transfer of vehicles with GK registration from national government to county. That all county government-owned vehicles and machinery are insured under comprehensive insurance cover. That there should be proper realignment of the directorate in charge of transport and infrastructure to ensure that the person in charge of be a professional trained in fleet management and related field. That in case of county vehicles has fault or is involved in accident, the driver responsible generates a comprehensive report before it is booked for repair. That there should be proper generation of inspection report before a submission of the vehicle to garages. That the CCM Transport submit a valid inventory to this house and catalogue of all vehicles owned by the county government of Nandi. That no part of the vehicles should be moved or transferred for use in repairing or maintaining another vehicle. Those are the recommendations by the committee. It is now my humble duty on behalf of the Committee of Implementation on Transport and Infrastructure, Administration and Public Service to present this report to the House on the committee inquiry into the condition of the vehicles and machinery in the county government of Nandi. I move and call upon Honorable Pius Sing'oei to second.
Thank you, Honorable Gideon. Honorable members, I now propose that this House adopt a joint committee report inquiring into the condition of the county government motor vehicle laid on the table on 10 February 2022 be discussed. Honorable Jamase, Ilari Serem.
Thank you, Chair. I was a member of the committee. We visited the various garages. We looked at the state of those vehicles. We did the report, and Mr. Speaker, I agree with the report. Some of the vehicles have been in those garages for longer than 6 years. Some have been there for as long as we could not even recall when. Now, if we can ease those vehicles so that they come out and serve the people of Nandi, then there will be no need even to hire additional vehicles. Now, some of them are in state which cannot be repaired, actually. Repairing them or working on them is a loss. And as the report says, there should be a way out of writing off those vehicles or making effort to dispose those vehicles. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the report as presented by the committee. Thank you.
Honorable Chepkwany.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, being a member of this committee, I rise to support the report. And Honorable Speaker, to add the sentiments by the chair of our committee who did a very good job. This was not an easy task, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, only 3 comments about this report. That it is unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that from 2013, when the first government or the devolved government came in place, the vehicles which were handed over from the defunct local authorities, we have in this list vehicles which have been stalled for the longest, more than 7 years, Honorable Speaker. Some are beyond repair. There are some small parts which are required. But of course, Honorable Speaker, like it has been mentioned by the report, we wish that the executive take seriously the recommendation to be able to dispose of all those vehicles which are not economically viable for them to be repaired, Honorable Speaker, so that, Honorable Speaker, we don't see the ugly vehicles in the garages. Honorable Speaker, if you've been able to drive past Namgoi, the Timlel garage there and the one in Kipsebo, Honorable Speaker, you will notice that county vehicles are stalled there, and some, as we speak, have become too worn out that they're beyond repair. So, Honorable Speaker, I really want to support that those which are not viable, we dispose of. Secondly, is that the county government should be able to pay the suppliers or the garage owners for the vehicles which have been serviced and they are in proper condition, but they cannot be released because the county has not paid for the repairs, Honorable Speaker. So at the end of the day, those vehicles which have been repaired, they still get worn out because of weather conditions, Honorable Speaker, and some even end up being damaged, or some are vandalized. So, Honorable Speaker, I think it is important that in the recommendation also that we have said all the vehicles, we rather have one safe parking yard for all the vehicles of the county, whether they are half functional, non-functional, or completely immovable, but there are modalities that can be employed to ensure that all those vehicles are put into one place, Honorable Speaker, so that we reduce the incidences of vandalism and, of course, eventual loss. You remember, Honorable Speaker, in our first term, the Honorable Member for Kapsabet did make allegations as to a Prado vehicle which disappeared, a Prado Pajero vehicle which disappeared, and some tractor which disappeared. Later on, when we investigated, Honorable Speaker, yes, those vehicles existed in the defunct local authorities, but during the handover process, those vehicles disappeared. So, Honorable Speaker, it also means these vehicles, if they are not going to be brought to one locality or one safe place, Honorable Speaker, during this transition period, especially during the campaign period that we are all going into now, and possibly if there is a high chance of change of guard at the county government. And of course, it does not go without saying that, Honorable Speaker, there will be those of us here who will be able to make back. There are those who will not be successful. And Honorable Speaker, it is important that these vehicles are in safe place so that during the inventory of handover, Honorable Speaker, it is clear. Again, Honorable Speaker, this recommendation on the issue of submission of the inventory by the CEC for finance, it is important, Honorable Speaker, for purposes of oversight, that we know exactly what we are dealing with in the executive and at the legislature. So that recommendation, I am sure, Honorable Speaker, it will be fast-tracked to ensure that we have that inventory submitted to the County Assembly. And of course, Honorable Speaker, as we talk of the executive, we should never forget about the County Assembly. We also have vehicles which are stalled, which are dysfunctional, non-functional, that there is need that also they be disposed of or repaired properly, Honorable Speaker. The former Speaker's Prado has been stuck here and it has a functional engine. I thought it was only the issue of a small wiring issue. But Honorable Speaker, 2 years down the line, the vehicle has not been repaired. Is it because we have a new Prado? But the new Prado will also age, Honorable Speaker. So as much as we want to point fingers at the executive, we should remember that we should lead by example. So I'm sure, Honorable Speaker, this also should also apply to the County Assembly. So, Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate. If you look at the total value of the losses that the county is going through these vehicles which are stalled. In the first government, the Ford Rangers, which were all functional, the 5 of them, the Land Rovers, 110, 6 of them, which were functional. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, all of them are stalled in the parking. This government has bought the county machinery, the tippers. Some tippers now are stalled. So, Honorable Speaker, if every 5 years we have to be losing vehicles, then a policy needs to be done that after every 5 years we dispose of all these vehicles, because a new government which comes and thinks that they can't use the old vehicles, then they must be able to dispose of before they buy new ones. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, we are wasting a lot of taxpayers' money in these vehicles. If you do a cumulative cost on the amount required for repairs of these vehicles compared to the amount that they are worth currently, Honorable Speaker, it does not make economic sense, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I support the report, and I seek and I hope that the chairman for implementation, who happens to be the chair again, Honorable Speaker, of this report, shall make follow-up as a committee to ensure that it is implemented. I thank you.
Honorable Singoe.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kunipatia nafasi ya kuchangia hii hoja. Nafikiri mimi ni kati ya wale ambao tulikuwa tunazunguka kuangalia hizi magari, lakini tulikuta hizi magari ni mingi sana ambayo yameharibika, ambapo kila mmoja angeangalia hasara ambayo tuko naye katika Nandi kuhusu magari, unaweza toa machozi, kwa sababu tunaweza kukuta magari zingine ambazo bado mpya lakini injini imesisi, na tulichunguza tukaona ya kwamba wale madrivers ambao waliandikwa ni madrivers ambao hawakuwa na ujuzi, ndio karibu hizo magari. Kuna magari zingine ambayo yameundwa na mechanics, lakini malipo hajalipwa, na kuna zingine hata alikuwa imewekwa rangi, lakini saa hii hajalipwa na imerudi tena imechakaa. Sasa tunaonelea kwamba ingekuwa bora hizi magari yaangaliwe, iuzwe, wananchi wanunue, kwa sababu ni hasara kubwa sana. Alafu tena hizi magari ambapo ilikuwa bado mzuri, na tunakuta tunafanya haya magari zingine kutumia kwa kazi ya uko resavuni, lakini tuko na magari ya kutosha ambapo kama ingefanywa repair ingefanya hiyo kazi, alafu ile pesa ambapo ingefanywa haya kwa zile zingine ingefanya kazi nyingine. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, mimi naona ya kwamba tuangalie kwa makini, kwa sababu hizi magari ni mingi sana. Ukikuta ile ambayo iko pale inaitwa nini hapo Namgoi, ni magari ambapo mpya, na tuliuliza ya kwamba kuna magari zingine ambayo iliharibika mbeleni kwa ile regime. Alafu kuna zingine machache ambayo iliharibika wakati huu sasa, wakati wao tuko saa hii. Na saa hii muda inakwisha na hizo magari imeanza kuchakaa. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono hizo magari iangaliwe, iuzwe kwa wananchi, kwa sababu tuko na nyingine ambayo ilikuwa ya kaunti zamani. Iko 504 ambayo iko hapo imelala na imekwisha, ambapo kama angepatia wananchi wanunue angejifaidia na angejisaidia naye. Nafikiri naunga mkono sana.
Okay, honorable members, before the right of reply, and Honorable Gideon, I've seen members. I was thinking that maybe as members, Honorable Gideon, you can give the right of reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank the members for their contribution and support to this report. We shall all make follow-up so that it is implemented, and hopefully people of Nandi will get value for money for the kind of vehicles that the vehicles that they were bought. So I thank the members, and thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Gideon, who happens also to be the chairman implementation. I think you will follow so that the required procedure be followed before we dispose. Now, honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopt the joint committee report inquiring into the condition of the county government motor vehicles machinery laid on the table of 10 House on 10 February 2022. Will as many of a similar opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, adjournment.
Clerk, we have not on number 10. Clerk, maybe we have not been number 10, Honorable Clerk. Number 9.
Order number 9, motion.
Motion, Honorable Swani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to move a motion of adjournment of the County Assembly on behalf of the Leader of Majority, Honorable David Koech, the Leader of Majority. I, being Deputy Leader of Minority, as one of the House leadership, in the House leadership, Mr. Speaker, I stand to move this motion, that adjournment of the Assembly. Aware that Standing Order 28/3, the County Assembly approved the County Assembly approved Assembly calendar, which provides that in its calendar. Further aware that members of the County Assembly are out to comply with the party nominations rules for purpose of taking part in the party primaries, and considering that various committees are to conclude on pending committee businesses before they are presented to the House for adoption before April 2022. This House therefore resolves to adjourn its sittings today, 24th February 2022, and to resume on 14th of March 2022. Mr. Speaker, as I've stated in this motion, that most of our members are out because of the party nominations and political party act, which allows members to comply with the time frame. And that is why this County Assembly is urging members to adjourn these sittings for about 14 days, so that we can give members ample time to take their activities from the parties and other nominations rules, which rules and political party act, which allows members and give time frame for members to go and collect their nominations and fill their forms with the political parties. I therefore, Honorable Speaker, request the minority whip in this House, one of the House leaders, to second the motion.
That's Honorable Kevola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would also want to second the motion. And before I second, Mr. Speaker, this is a time that really honorable members should be given humble time to go present the papers to the various parties and be prepared for the April nomination that is actually just a few days to. So, Mr. Speaker, I would say this break is enough for us to go and ensure that we comply with what the IBC has said. And I would wish and pray that all members who are actually in this assembly to come back, and the journey has just begun. I wish them all the best. And with that few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable members, I therefore propose that this House therefore resolve to adjourn its sitting to day 24th February 2022 and to resume on 14 March 2022 be discussed. Honorable Gideon.
Let me comment briefly on this, Honorable Speaker, and say that this is a deserved break that we ought to take. And it's not a break per se, because we are going to consolidate the various reports that we have to be able to bring the same to the House for action, so that we can now have the executive implement what we've discussed, including the various bills that are pending before this House, the FIF bill and the like. So I think these 2 weeks will be very important for all of us. Thank you, Lord.
Honorable Turbosa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also like to contribute something on this motion. I think it's in order for this House to adjourn today, because most of us, or most of these honorable members, are vying for different seats. So these 2 weeks is good for them to go and struggle. Some have not yet completed or fulfilled their nomination papers and whatever. So I think it is well and good for us to go and struggle in the ground, looking for votes for these 2 weeks. Then if we'll be back, it will be well and good. So it is in order. I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Before I put the question, and also I give Honorable Swati to give us the right of reply, Clerk, can you confirm whether we have quorum? To give the right of reply, and also we put the question. 5 minutes. You know, when you know that the bell has been rung, it's only the chief whip who is allowed to go and who members to come to the floor before we continue. There is no more movement. Clerk, confirm whether we have quorum.
Honorable Speaker, the quorum is now present.
Okay, Honorable Swati, you give us the right of reply before we do the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me thank all my honorable members who have agreed with this motion of adjournment. And Mr. Speaker, you know this is the landing time when members are busy going up and down to look for their nominations and the other concentrating the report on various committees. And even yesterday you saw our president trembling. That was a sign of landing. You know, when the plane is landing, there is turbulences and also bumps. And that one was a sign of turbulences because, you know, the plane is almost landing. This is why members should adjourn this assembly to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, they have put their report together, and when we come back, because you know, we are about to leave this house, so to make sure that the house is in order. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, honorable members who have supported this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Swati. You say that when the president knows that landing is becoming very hot. Okay, thank you, honorable members. I now put a question that this House therefore resolves to adjourn its sitting today, 24th February 2022, and to resume on 14 March 2022. Will as many of a similar opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Thank you, members. Members, before we go to the next agenda, with the suggestion of the chair, who is the speaker, we had a statement sought, and which is very important. Before we move to the adjournment, we are supposed to see on the public officers. Let me give you a statement sought, responded by the public administration. Honorable Chepkwony.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you for that indulgence, Honorable Speaker. I think, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Bolwe, it is Honorable Kipkirui Chepkwony, so that in fact he is supposed to respond to a statement, which is very important to the House, and will not leave. You have never sought for any statement. What is it before, Honorable? Because
Honorable Speaker, I think it is now 2 months. You almost now my statement has never been answered. I asked about on Department of Roads. If you can go into answered, you'll get me ahead. Actually ask about the bridge that RMLF made in Kiptuya that has not been completed up to this time, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if you are here to give directions, and now when you say that Honorable Kebolo has not given any direction, I have also my statement that
Honorable Kebolo, you are not directing the speaker, you make your statement, you are not combating the speaker. You are just asking for your statement. So the other day from Honorable, the chair, Roads. So Honorable Singwe, I think on 14, you come and respond to the statement sought by Honorable Kefolwe, so that we can come and see, so that they can go and let these people know what is supposed to be done. I think it is fair, Honorable Singwe.
Nafikiri Bwana Speaker ni ya kwamba kulingana na Mheshimiwa Kefolwe, nafikiri hiyo statement hajatoa iko wapi? Hajapata habari. Mimi sina habari ya statement hiyo. Ningekuwa nimejibu kitabu.
Okay, that one, Honorable Swati, you've had. Next time on 14, maybe you sought, so that you will be responded on that particular day. Honorable Chepkwony.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I seek to respond to a statement that was sought, and I will be responding as the Vice Chair of the Committee on Administration and Devolution, Honorable Speaker. This was a statement that was sought, and I wish to respond as such, that we refer to the above subject. We acknowledge receipt of the same on 17th of February, 2022, and I say the following are the names and respective designations of the officers of the County Government Public Service who tendered the resignation letters as at 9th February 2022 as per section 43(5) of the Elections Act. One is Jafet Kirwa, who is an engineer in agriculture. We have Kipkemei Kogo, who is a cleaning supervisor, 3. We have Julius Kiprotich, who is senior support staff. We also have George Tarus, who is the director, legal services. And we have Joel Kosgei, who was a radiographer. So, Honorable Speaker, this has been signed off and confirmed by the head of public service, that is the county secretary, Dr. Francis K. Sang. So, Honorable Speaker, in response to a statement that was sought on the names and of the staff who resigned before the 9th February deadline, for those who are going to seek for political positions, Honorable Speaker, that's what we have sought. And I know, Honorable Speaker, an annex of the same was expected from the County Assembly, because we know also that there were staff who had expressed interest, and also those who are working at the County Assembly Service Board, more specifically, Stella Ruto, who of course we have seen her around seeking for elective positions. Chair, I may not be able to confirm the actual status as at the moment, and I would wish to commit, Honorable Speaker, because this is a very sensitive matter. I may not want to commit without written commitment and confirmation from the chairman, County Assembly Service Board. So, Honorable Speaker, I seek that on that part, that we'll be able to clarify further in the next sitting after we issue.
Honorable Mengage was supposed to say this statement, and maybe you will see, I don't know where he is, and if he is not around, I think he will be given the copy so that you will know the names. Perhaps members, you know that I see the names are they are not enough. Honorable Gideon, I've given you some leeway only for 2 to 3 minutes so that we can comment.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think when a statement is responded to, the way he has responded, members have a few minutes to comment. So
yeah, you have brought that I've given you to comment, Honorable Gideon.
It is not leeway. You are giving me an opportunity to comment. So I think accompanying those names should be documentary from the executive, detailing the same. Because, Honorable Speaker, we need to know. Because we know that outside there are several people who are purporting, let me use that term, purporting to be aspirants, yet they are maybe still working at the county. So we need documentary evidence, Honorable Kipkurui, on those matters, so that we can separate the wheat from the, what do you call it, chaff. Is that the term? So that even when we are undertaking our campaigns, we concentrate on the real aspirants, and not focus on those that. And I think, as he mentioned, we need also an undertaking, or actually a confirmation from the County Assembly to those who might are working at the County Assembly. Thank you.
Honorable Singoe.
Sana, Bwana Spika, kunipatia nafasi. Nafikiri kuna majina mengine ambaye hatujasikia vile Mheshimiwa Jepkwony amesoma hapo. Tuko na mmoja anaitwa Josephat Lasoi, na anapiga mdomo huko na sijasikia jina yake hapo, ama amenipita. Josephat Lasoi, kama yuko hapo, naonekana anafanya campaign kimakosa.
You will sum up so that of the members contributing. Honorable Kirongo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We appreciate the names given by Honorable Jepkwony. But as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, unless we are given, or somebody to explain to us the term resignation. One of the aspirants by the name, I don't want to mention, is aspirant in my place, but he's still working. So if you tell us they have resigned, in which way, Mr. Speaker? If somebody is still on duty every day, I don't know, unless we need to seek clarification from the Department of Civil Service so that we know what is resignation. Mr. Speaker, the answer is not sufficient to me unless otherwise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kirongo. Honorable Swadi.
Just clarification.
I hope, Honorable Kipkurui, you being the response, you are responding to the statement, I think you will not, and then you will respond to all of the members' question. Honorable Swadi.
I think it's just clarification from Honorable SG Kipkurui. Maybe we have those who are on contract. We have those who are just casual, but they are still working. Are they under that category of resigning before you go to before you start vying for our opposition of elective seats. Those who are under contract, those who are cautious, maybe clarification from the chair.
Honorable Jepkony, you will respond. Honorable Kevolwe.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I also would want to know, because anybody who is either employed by this county assembly or the county government, and he has shown that he wants to vie maybe for a certain position, whether he's on contract or he's on permanent and pensionable, we should see his resignation or her resignation, because the county can never pay money on people who are now pretending they are going there to seek for votes, and they are here pretending that they're working in Nandi County. So, Mr. Speaker, that's a serious matter that Honorable Kipkurui, the SG, who is a very able and competent member of this county assembly, should actually give us the direction so that we don't go into such talks that we may find in future coming. So, Honorable Speaker, that's my contribution to this.
Any other member before Kipkurui answers, because we want to, as a speaker, we want to wind up so that Kipkurui, and then also you'll have to let members know what is the difference between resignation and leave. Where they say in the IBC that somebody should seek leave, not leave. You need to resign. So before we say resigning and going for leave, those are two different things from the County Public Service Board as a chair. So you need to clarify to the members. And also, I'm not as a chair or the speaker for this session. I'm not contented with the names of those who have resigned. These are not the actual numbers that are supposed to seek for the position. So, Honorable Jepkony, you can now give.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a dicey matter and very sensitive, of course, and it's squarely to the members of interest. Honorable Speaker, I can confirm first the term resignation and what the law says, the Elections Act, requires one to resign. Resign means you abandon work officially. You must write to indicate that you have resigned. And by resigning, it means you are expunged from the payroll. It also means that your services are terminated as at that time, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, unless the members that the members are referring to are offering voluntary services, otherwise, as per the letter from the head of public service and the county secretary, those are people who have already exited service, Honorable Speaker. And maybe, Honorable Speaker, the other issue would be what the Honorable Member for Kiptui has said, whether you are permanent and pensionable or on contract, Honorable Speaker. Remember, for us here seated here, Honorable Members, we are also on contract, 5-year contract. And that is why when there was that matter of us being required to resign from one party to another party, and us resigning from being an MCA for one to contest for a senior position, like the member for Terik who is seeking for Member of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, it is very clear. When you resign as an MCA, I'm also concerned, Honorable Speaker, when the member for Kaptel Komoyo says there is a one Lasoi who works for the county government and has not resigned, because I'm also tempted to feel that there is one from my ward who masquerades as an auditor, Honorable Speaker, of the county, and I have not seen his resignation, Honorable Speaker. Unless, for my case and that of Honorable Singwai, Honorable Speaker, you know, there are some of these county staff whose term of contract expired as of January and some as of February, Honorable Speaker. So you see, when one's contract has expired, then it is deemed that you are no longer a worker of the county, unless the contract is renewed. So I think also we might want to also confirm, unless those are the ones whose term expired before the deadline for resignation. Honorable Speaker, allow us to come with those evidences when I'll be responding on the matter of the County Assembly when we resume in the next 10 days, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, members. I hope you have heard from the chairperson on public officers. So within that period, you come and tell us on the remaining part. And I know that if someone has never resigned by 9, that one his team is not supposed to be vying for any position as by the law. So that one, Kipkurui Jepkony will come and say with that, so that if they will backdate, we will know what to do. Otherwise, members, as we go for this short recess till 14 April, I want to wish you court blessing as you go and campaign for this plenary, that these people, all of us, will remain to be there from our different parties, and after that one, we'll continue as members of this county assembly. Otherwise, you go and campaign well peacefully, and also let us also be brothers keepers. If you have anything that you need to assist one of us, let us assist each other so that we can make this county and assembly after that.
Honorable Speaker,
why are you standing when the Speaker is making ruling?
Honorable Speaker, I seek your indulgence for clarity, Honorable Speaker. The dates that you indicated, Honorable Speaker, in your sentiments, you've mentioned April, Honorable Speaker.
14 March.
Thank you.
It is on 14 March. I never said 14 April. Maybe you are busy discussing with Honorable. Okay, it is on 14 March. Otherwise, members, being no any other business, next assembly, the next order.
Order number 10, adjournment.
So members, being no any other business, this house has adjourned to 14 March 2022.